Hello, family and friends, and welcome to EarthStar Sundays at 11:11. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and welcome to this dimensional space we call EarthStar Spiritual Center in Greensboro, North Carolina, United States of America. Thank you so much for that. Make sure my microphone's working. I think it is, but if anybody's out there, just give me a holler, shout, speak to me on comments. Make sure you're hearing me. So thank you for being here. And today is April 19th, 2026. Can you believe it is April 19th? My goodness. So we're going to go today and talk about Simply Shaman, and also in reference to the Cowboy Code. So as we look at our Cowboy Code, just think about, we all have this wonderful energy about living out west, or the, think about the 1800s, homesteaders. Think about all the times that we've played cowboy or cowgirl, and we always had that very mystical sense about being a cowboy, but specifically about the Cowboy Code and what that means. To me, it means that was a time, and it still is existence today, when, a handshake, that was your word. When you gave your word, that was your word, because that was the honor. When you had a look, everybody knew exactly what that look meant. And as a cowboy, you know that you say what you'll do, and you do what you say. So it's a wonderful concept to have the Cowboy Code, especially when we look at it through the lens of our shamanic essence, our Aloha consciousness, our cosmic shaman consciousness. All right. So let's take a look at that right now. So it is Sundays, 11:11, Cowboy Code, April 19th. My goodness. Okay. So we are EarthStar Spiritual Center. We are a multi-faith church for the living Aloha. Been doing this since 2002. My wife and Jeanne do this, and we are each are the Co-Abbots of EarthStar Spiritual Center. So I will be your host today, Dale Stacy. Jeannie's in the background here. And remember, this is a live chat, so ask questions if you like. Share your experiences, and also go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It's for free. And also you can share and link this to other folks so the word gets out. Okay. So off to the left, you see our core values and principles, spells out Aloha, and that is all loving God, love, oneness, heart path, and as above and so below. And we've done a show on that recently back in March, if you want to look that up. Okay. All right. So this is our Sundays at 11:11. So these are the topics that we can discuss as far as being a cosmic shaman or Aloha consciousness. We'll try to do a variety of subjects as we go through our Sundays at 11:11. And next week, just to let you know, we'll have one of our shamans on, Nicole Ackley. She sent us a message about doing the divine masculine and divine feminine. So Nicole will be joining both Jeannie and me next week. For next Sundays at 11:11. So join us then also. Okay. And some of these topics you see here in the clouds, we can also help and support you with some of these areas. So if you'd like to do a synergy healing during the week, or a shamanic life coaching, just get in contact with us. I have all the contact info in the show notes. Okay. And these are some of the books we've written, if it can help you in any way with your shamanic journey. So everything from earth shamanism to cosmic shamanism. And those links are also in the show notes, and they're all available on Amazon. And these are some of the CD covers or the song covers from our new music ministry at EarthStar. We started that last month in March. And so far we have 5 songs that are up on YouTube, and also they're on all your streaming platforms. So thank you for your support. And I try to make a video with each one just so people can see what the song is about and listen to the wonderful rhythms and the vibrations. Now you see the one, Heart Full of Love, down the bottom right. That is Jeannie's love story to me. And so that was released last Monday. So take a chance to listen to that, because that has all those wonderful vibes of her youth, her teenage years, her college years. It's got the beat sound, the rhythm and blues, the Motown kind of sound. So it's a wonderful song. And matter of fact, we both co-wrote that one. So. And then also our Earth superpowers and our cosmic destiny. So I invite you to think about, who are you? Why are you on Earth and how are you serving? Okay. So if you want to know about your Earth superpowers, we do have a physical class. That'll be Sunday, May 17th, okay, 2026. That'll be from like 1 to 5. And you see the little the prices down in the slide itself. So that's, you see the $50 thing. That's for folks who have had the ESP class and they just want a refresher on that and just want to hang out with us. Okay. So, and you can contact us by phone, email, or go online and do the message thing. I've got all that in the show notes also. Okay. Now, one of the organizations we belong to is Connecting Consciousness. Since we're finding ourselves activating the golden age of America and the world, humanitarian projects will be available very soon, as these will be funded by several quantum financial systems. And Connecting Consciousness is one of the organizations that helps to manage these. There are going to be many of these organizations. So Simon Parks is his name. He lives in England, been doing this quite a while. So we have signed up and submitted a humanitarian project for a center here in the Guilford County area. So I've got the links in the show notes. So as far as humanitarian projects, how do you serve right now, or how will you serve, and what are your Earth superpowers? What is your purpose for serving humanity? So something you might want to think about. And remember, we're all moving toward this beautiful time of the golden age. So make sure you're going to be of service and use your Aloha consciousness for that. And also our SHAC principles. I want to remind you to make sure you inundate your day with smiles, hugs, acts of kindness, compliments, and kisses. And not only are you doing this to and for other people, but you're also doing this for yourself, to honor yourself, to honor who you are as a divine spirit, a divine soul that's been traveling this cosmos for many, many years, going through many, many incarnations. So make sure you appreciate who you are. And, last week we did a Sundays at 11:11 on awesome, beautiful, and perfect. So remember, you are that. So honor that inside of you, okay? And try to do the SHAC thing. Let's think of all the folks in our group. I mean, we have almost 600 people. If they did this once or twice a day, we would have well over 1 million acts of Aloha consciousness every single year. So thank you for that. All right, so today then, the Cowboy Code, our Sundays at 11:11. Our objectives for today, just one, will be to discuss the 9 aspects of the Cowboy Code, and this will be in reference to our shamanic awareness, our Aloha consciousness. The Cowboy Code, you see many of these online when you check this out. I'm not sure where I received the copy of the 9 aspects of the Cowboy Code, but when you go online and you just punch in Cowboy Code, you'll find that there are many, many numbers of the Cowboy Code, but I especially like the 9 aspects that we have. And matter of fact, this is part of my morning meditation and memorization practice that I do. I make sure that I say this Cowboy Code aloud, right, every morning. All right, let's get right into it. Okay, so Cowboy Code. Let's just go down and I'll read all of them, and then we'll talk about them individually. Okay. So live each day with courage. Okay? Have respect for everyone you meet. Be confident in your dreams. Always do what's right. Take pride in your work. Talk less, say more. Know where to draw the line. Always finish what you start. And be tough, but always fair. Okay. So the Cowboy Code, 9 aspects, wonderful aspects, especially when we add our shamanic essence and shamanic presence to these, and helping us to live our life of Aloha consciousness. All right, so let's look at the first one then, to live each day with courage. Oh, and also, you see the little, the picture that says Cowboy Code. I have put that chart on the Facebook page. So go to EarthStar Spiritual Center and look on today's post for the show and look in the comments, and you'll see the Cowboy Code. So I've got that in there on a JPEG file. So that way you can print that off and hang that up. It should be an 8.5 by 11 sheet. Okay. So EarthStar Spiritual Center, Facebook. All right, so first one then, live each day with courage. So when we think about living with courage, let's think about being bold, being adventurous, right? We want to make sure that fear is not part of our our everyday life or any part of our life, because fear will stop our evolution cold. It will stop us from doing things. It will stop us from being our enlightened and empowered self, because that's what fear does. Fear does not want to move on. Okay? So make sure that when you think about living each day with courage, you know that's exactly what that means. Okay, good. All right. Let me put my comments up here. So take them off the stage. All right, good. And so when we think about being bold and adventurous, then remember the old saying of carpe diem, right? Seize the day. So seize the day in some way and to make progress in who you are, to be another day of being the best version of who you are. Now, when we look at the first word, to live, well, what does to live mean? When I say to live, I mean in the sense of being happy, uh, allowing your destiny to unfold day by day, every little aspect of who you are, living your best self each and every day. So living happy, living in aloha, living in and with aloha consciousness. So make sure you do that, to live fully and to be happy. And remember, you're not just doing just enough to get by. You're truly living yourself fully each and every day. So that's the shamanic spin for live each day with courage. Okay. All right, let's go to number 2. So have respect for everyone you meet. So now remember, everyone has their own journey. And we may not agree with everything that everyone does all the time. You know, last week, if you heard the broadcast, we talked about the Jesus restaurant and that there were many, many different ways to relate to Jesus, just like in a restaurant. You're not going to love everything that's on the menu. Matter of fact, you just go for a specific thing. Okay? So same thing with respect. Remember, if we're in the cafe or the restaurant of respect, you may not love every single thing that someone does or someone stands about, yet you can have respect for who they are, because they are another human. They are another cosmic soul traveling through this wonderful universe throughout all of eternity. And they have a unique expression of our one infinite creator, just as you. So have respect for everyone you meet. And that way you can decide how much you want to hang out with them, right? So, because everyone has something good to say and good to be about. Everyone has love about them, maybe not on the same level as you, but everybody has that love aspect within them. And sometimes there's more self-love than love for others. But just have respect for people and understand just who they are. The old thing about walking a mile in someone's moccasins, you truly get to understand them. Okay? Now, you often hear too about respect. You know, people demand respect from people, especially when they've been elevated to some sort of position, because they think just by being in that position, they should be able to have this respect. And we know that in order to have respect, we have to give respect. So we have to give in order to receive. Same thing we do in ceremony. You know, we do an offering, whether it's sage or tobacco, flowers, or food. And then that way we give an offering during our ceremonies. And that way we're able to be in a receptive stage to receive that energy back from the universe. Okay? Now, as far as respect, remember, be respectful not only to other people, but also to you. Okay, because that way, if you have respect for you, you'll have enough in your gas tank to have respect for everyone you meet. Wonderful. Okay, number 3, let's look at that one. Be confident in your dreams. So again, courage like in number 1 and be confident. So when we think about being confident in our dreams, let me look at my notes. Remember that you have many, many dreams and you have this confidence about you. So make sure you're confident in who you are. You're confident, you know your earth superpowers, you know what your purpose here on earth is. Of course, we all know the purpose is to be loved, to be a loving human being with and toward everyone. Okay? So make sure you're confident in your dreams. Know that you can do this. Know that you've done it before. Know that there's no such thing as mistakes. They're simply just lessons. And know that it'll make you stronger with your intention to complete a particular task. So know that you have the skills, you have the abilities. And know that if you don't have all the skills you would like, then you'll learn those skills. So be confident that you can accomplish this also. because remember, you are a divine being. You're awesome, beautiful, and perfect. So be confident in your dreams. And one thing about this is make sure you have enough self-empowerment to know that you deserve to be to accomplish this dream. You know that you're a child of God. You know that you're a unique expression of God, and you deserve to be happy and to be fulfilled in life just because you're awesome, beautiful, and perfect. So be confident in who you are, be confident in your abilities. And remember, this is a learning curve. We learn along the way. So, and then your dreams. So think about your dreams. What are your dreams? Those are the things you want to do. These are the things you want to be, how you want to be. Think about your dreams as a child. Go back and think about those childhood dreams. Are you doing some of those some way, somehow in your life right now? Because are you living that life of being fulfilled, doing what you love and loving what you do? Okay? So be confident in your dreams because you deserve it, because you are you. Okay. And in your universe, remember, YOU universe, you can create what you like because that's the way things are built. Okay. All right. Excellent. Okay. Number 4, always do what's right. Now, I know that's a relative term because we know right, wrong. Truth, false, or lies. We have true rumors and false facts, right? So a very relative term. So when we think about what is right, think about what is good, okay? What is respectful, what is loving, in reference, and how do your actions affect everyone and anyone? Because remember, your actions do affect the entire course of humanity because we're all connected. We're all swimming around this beautiful soup pot in this broth, right? Like we discussed last week. So make sure you know that everything you do affects everyone else. So when we think about what is right, make sure you understand what is right for you. Okay, try to find that happy medium, that sense of compromise about being with people that may not share 100% of your opinions and thoughts, but in the same token of being respectful, you can respect them, and you can know that being right or is right for you. So understand what your right is and how you're able to implement that. Now, when we think about right, we want to make sure that we don't put in expectations we have from other people. And again, we don't want to go to the area of controlling what people do. So you determine what is right for you, and then you do that. And you do that every single day. You do that with every action. You do it with every thought. You do it with every word. Being the cowboy code, when we think about things that are right, those are the times, and that's the time today also, when we make an agreement simply with a handshake. We do what we say, and we say what we do. When the series on TV came out with Yellowstone, that brought this cowboy consciousness back into our awareness. We could see the many ways that cowboys live, how they work hard, how they stay together, they work together, they protect their own, they take care of one another. And so the cowboy code has a lot of those wonderful things, not only from the past, but also in the present day. And we can adopt that in that shamanic sense, that you always do what's right and make sure you understand what's right for you. Okay? All right, outstanding. All right, take pride in your work is the next one. So when we say take pride in your work, remember that when we do this, you want to be proud in who you are and what you're able to accomplish and what you have accomplished. Pride, when we say being proud of who you are, we don't want to enter that camp of being narcissistic or being arrogant or having all this ego about who you are and what you've done. Because remember, when you enter those areas of that level of ego, where you're arrogant, when you're narcissistic, you actually don't have pride, because that means you have a lack of self-empowerment, self-love. So when we take pride, that means we're just proud in the way we do things. We're proud. We enjoy. We are confident. We enjoy our confidence. We enjoy our work, and we enjoy what we do. All right. So we love what we do, and we do what we love. So take pride in your work. And what is your work? Well, what work is, that is your destiny. And remember, that destiny is evolving every day. So again, you love what you do and you do what you love. and you honor that in you because you're honoring who you are, because you're awesome, beautiful, and perfect. So take pride in that. Okay? So take pride in your work in that wonderful sense as you can continue to share that around. Okay. Let's see, check my notes. Yep, that's good for that one. Okay, number 6. All right, that's a big one. Talk less and say more. Now, I've got a note here for the air and water people. You have an exception because air people, we know that you've got to talk a lot, right? All of our Geminis and Libras and Aquariuses, you've just got to get it out because that's who you are. And for the water people, we understand the Cancers and the Scorpios and the Pisces. If you don't get this out, you'll just blow up. So we understand that. So understand the astrology, understand who you are, understand who your friends are, so you can be very tolerant of who they are and what they're doing. So remember, some people, they continue to just ramble. So when folks are rambling, the reason is because they're very uncomfortable with the silence. Because once we reach a place of silence, that means the only place we can go is inward. And a lot of folks do not want to take the inward journey to work on themselves, to change themselves, or to evolve themselves. So make sure that you are comfortable with the silence, because the silence is golden. You know, that's when we go into meditation and the prayer time. You know, the silence can be very loud. Okay? And it can be very good and a very useful and evolving way. So appreciate that silence. Okay? And remember, when you speak, make sure you speak with the heart. Make sure you speak with confidence. Make sure you speak with your aspect of what you know to be right. Okay, and you're willing to share that aloha consciousness with the world. Think about that cowboy code. We're on the back of that horse, and you're out doing your work. You're out in the middle of Mother Earth. In the picture there, you see a beautiful sunset. You're appreciating and honoring the earth and honoring who you are and what you do, working together with other folks. Remember, you have a sense of pride, and you're very proud in who you are. Okay. All right, we're back. Computer problem. I'll have to edit this out later, so we'll take care of that. And make sure my mic's working. Yes. Okay. And so remember to talk less and say more. Okay, good. All right, the next one then. Know where you draw the line. Okay, now that's a big one. Know where you draw the line, because that almost, as far as doing what's right, that could be in that same category of drawing the line. So when we think about drawing the line, you know, you have a set of standards, and it's okay if you stick your set of standards. And again, making sure you're very flexible as you deal with other people. Okay? When you think about compromising, and will you compromise on your standards? Because you know that where do you draw that line, and what is that line? Are you willing to compromise, or are you willing to plant your flag and stand your ground? Is this the hill you're willing to die on? Okay, to live up to your principles. So you'll have to decide that. Sometimes we think about being stubborn, or we think about not being compromising. Well, those will have to factor in also. But you have a level of excellence, and you stick to that because you do have your standards, you know, and you want to achieve that level in anything and everything you do. That's okay, regardless of what other standards are. You know, some people, if you hire someone to do the job and they do it and it's not up to your standards and they said they would do this, then yes, that's the time when they're going to have to speak out, and you'll have to draw the line. Okay. Remember, when we think about drawing the line, well, how's that refer to like safety issues and security issues? Because maybe you have previous experience with things. Okay. And so you know how to do it in a much better and efficient way, effective way. And maybe other folks are trying to do things and have standards. They just don't have the work experience with that, but you do. Okay. And then also, very importantly, as a group, you know, when we think about know where to draw the line, as a group, as humanity, you know, we want to be very tolerant of other people's oddities, because remember, everyone has those eccentricities about them. There's little quirks, and we all do. And there's 8 billion of us on this planet. So 8 billion people have a certain way of being. So be very tolerant of other people. And then on the other side of that coin, as an individual, don't be damn irritating. Okay. Make sure you go along with the group. Remember, the process is the individual must adapt to the group. The group does not adapt to the individual. Otherwise, you have the tail wagging the dog, and that's not the way things work. So as a group of people, as humanity, as far as where do we draw the line, as a group, be very tolerant. As an individual, be less irritating and find a way to involve yourself with other people. Okay, good. I got my sister checking in. So thank you, Mary. Thanks for being here. Okay, good. Okay. All right. So that's where you want, when we discuss about, always know where you want to draw the line. So again, this goes along hand in hand with your standards. So what are your standards of excellence? Okay. Good. All right. So number 8, always finish what you start. My goodness. Now for fire people, this is a big one, because fire people, right? That's the Sagittarius, the Aries, and the Leos. I mean, we live life in a beautiful blaze, a firestorm, and a lot of times in the things we do. So with fire people and with other people, we've had that in your chart about wanting to start many tasks and projects. Remember, if you have too many irons in the fire, it will eventually choke out the fire, and we don't want that. Okay. So find a sense of completion in some way when we do something, somehow, some way, so that we can complete a particular project, and that way we can put that behind us and move on. And remember, people say, well, I don't have time to complete it right now, I'll get back to it. Well, the old saying is, if you don't have time to complete it right now, that means you will not have time to complete it in the future, because now you've added all these other things onto your plate. So make sure you find a way to complete things, finish your tasks, and that way you'll have a wonderful sense of accomplishment, a wonderful sense of purpose when you do something. Okay? And if you have to compromise and lower some of your restrictions, or maybe some of the aspects of a particular task, then do that. But make sure you bring it to a point of conclusion, because we don't want things just hanging out there without being accomplished, okay, without being finished. Because make sure you do that, because you got some other folks that may be counting on you to do that. And you don't want to seem like you're a wishy-washy and always jumping from one thing to the next, because that could also have to do with some grounding and centering challenges you may have in who you are. So make sure you're just not moving from one thing to the next because you don't think you can complete a task, or you just have a challenge is where you don't think you deserve to complete a task and to be happy. So appreciate any sense of completing something, and that attitude of reaching a goal, because then that way we can move on to another. Okay? All right. And the last one here is be tough, but always fair. My goodness. When you think about being tough, you think about that sternness that you would find in a judge, a high school principal, the assistant principal, especially the principal that was there for the discipline. Not that I know anything about that. But when we deal with those folks, or think about a police officer, maybe even a teacher, maybe even your parents, they were very stern. Okay, so when we think about being tough, but yet we know that all those folks were really fair. Okay, so when we think about being fair, again, that's another relative word, because remember, one man's trash is another woman's treasure. That's the way that works. So keeping this in mind, that it is a relative term about being fair. This is where we want to rely on our standards, rely on the truth, honesty, our work ethic. Okay? So be fair as you determine the whole picture, not just the parts. We don't want to be in a judgment type of framework where we're thinking about all those, coulda, shoulda, coulda, woulda kind of access. And remember, when we think about being tough but always fair, we come to this crossroads of thinking about justice and mercy. Remember, when we have mercy, that means justice is not necessarily met. And when we have justice, that means that mercy is not necessarily met, right? And I understand those are relative words too, justice and mercy. So remember, there's points of contention here as far as being compromising in who we are. We don't want to compromise our standards, but we certainly want to be tough. We want to be firm. Okay. But we always want to be fair, and that means we want to be loving, want to be compassionate, have some sort of understanding. Okay. And also that brings about the concept of expectations. We got to watch out for expectations in reference to people, because we don't want to control people. Now, expectations are a good thing too. I expect my car to start when I go out. I expect there to be the groceries in the store that I like when I go to the grocery store. I expect the bank to be open and to secure my money, right? I expect my insurance to work if I ever need the insurance. So expectations are okay in reference to things. Just make sure that not we're placing expectations on people, because again, that takes us to an area of control. Okay? And remember, give people another chance, right? They're not mistakes, but they're learning also, just as you're learning. Matter of fact, when we're thinking about being tough and always fair, remember that person that you're doing this with, they're a teacher for you. So allow them to teach you so that you can evolve and you can change, still keeping your standards of toughness and fairness, but maybe just tweaking it a bit. Okay. Okay. All right. So there we have it. So the Cowboy Code, 9 wonderful principles. I hope those you can use those in your shamanic way of life in reference to aloha consciousness. So when we think about doing a review, so again, all 9 of the Cowboy Codes: live each day with courage, have respect for everyone you meet, be confident in your dreams, always do what's right, take pride in your work, talk less, say more, know where to draw the line, always finish what you start, and be tough but always fair. Okay? So think about the Cowboy Code. Share that with everyone that you know. And again, you can go to Facebook, and that's where you can print off the chart. You see the page. You can print that off and frame that and put that inside your favorite man cave or woman cave. See? That way you'll have it for you. Okay, good. All right, so let's find ourselves moving to a nice meditative space. Let me get us some meditation music on just to get us there. So we think about our meditative space. Think about who we are. Think about why we're here. And just gently just close your eyes. And there's nowhere else to be, nothing else to do, but just be in this state of peace, this state of joy, happiness. Okay. And now just think about your energy field. Think about that love that's just flowing through you. Think about your chakras. Think about the red root chakra, orange navel chakra, yellow solar plexus, green heart, light blue throat, deep blue, the third eye, and the crown chakra, a beautiful purple, violet, mixed with lots of white. Okay? And imagine those chakras just spinning and expanding until it fills up that beautiful light tube connecting your crown and root. That beautiful light tube, like a fluorescent tube, begins to fill up with these wonderful colors. And now those colors begin to move into your energy field, creating a beautiful bubble of light around you, your Aloha bubble. So all the way out to outstretched arms to the fingertips, one hand length above, one hand length below. Okay? And feel this energy that's flowing through you. And think about your meridians, beautiful little channels of golden white light flowing through every cell. And now think about this wonderful energy flowing into every cell in your body, every subatomic particle in your mind, body, and spirit. Feel this beautiful aloha consciousness. Good. And remember, empty yourself of everything. Let the mind rest at peace, returning to the source of stillness, which is the way of nature. A.L.O.H.A, Book 16. Okay, wonderful. Okay. Now use this prayer time, and I'll put on some music about 5 minutes. So use this for healing, not only for yourself, but if you have other folks that you want to send healing energy to, you can do that. Also, a night wonderful prayer time. If you have folks that are in need of prayer, would like to send some prayer to them, then do that also. Just simply say their name. Okay. Or if you just want to use it in meditation, on the 9 aspects of the Cowboy Code in the shamanic sense. Which one of those codes spoke to you today? Something that you can implement this week in your shamanic life of aloha consciousness. Okay, so let's put on some music and just be you and just enjoy. And just stay in the space where you are. Feel that loving energy all around you. So go in your mind, in your heart again. Think about your aloha bubble. Think about those prayers you had for others. Seeing that aloha bubble, just extending that rainbow light to those people you sent prayers to. And think about the love and harmony you have in reference to the shamanic reference to the Cowboy Code and how you can live this code throughout the week. All right, so let's use this time for some healing. Let's use our Merkaba light. So remember, when you think about the Merkaba light, everyone has a Merkaba. We just have to get it reactivated again, almost like jumping off a car. Okay? Yeah. So let that light just flicker. And you can let this light be a blue Reiki light, healing light, or a rainbow-colored Huna, Hawaiian rainbow light. Okay? Or the Christ light, the white Christ light, or the pink light of Mary Magdalene. Okay? Or just the golden chi. Okay? So allow this just to flow. Who you are, what you're doing. Okay? And I offer this prayer that may the Aloha consciousness flow through your mind, body, and spirit, thought, words, and deeds, to everyone, everything, everywhere. In every time, place, and space, all your endeavors at home, work, and play. And may you be filled with this Aloha consciousness that flows through all things, flowing through all your endeavors, whether it be in healing or creation, or just being a presence, a beautiful aloha, wherever you are, doing what you do. Okay? You deserve this. You're awesome, beautiful, and perfect. Okay? And carry this blessing with you throughout the week. Remember how this feels in your mind and your heart. All you have to do is simply just reference that, think about it, feel it. And that way you'll bring this wonderful, loving energy into your current consciousness, allowing it to work as beautiful magic of aloha. Okay, love. Okay. Good. One, just take a deep breath. Thank you for being here today. All right, so let me give you our ending slide. Remember our pow. Okay. So on 3, clap our hands. We'll shout pow. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Pow. Good. Outstanding. Wonderful. Thank you for being here with us today. Thank you for joining us in this little piece of the galaxy, known this dimensional space here at EarthStar. Jeanne and I love you. Have a wonderful week, and we will see you soon. And as the Hawaiians say, a hui ho until we meet again. So much aloha, and be the love in every moment. All right, here we go.